In this video, I'll show you every step of making your PJ pants. You'll find all info about fabric requirements, tie and elastic band lengths, and lay plans in the info document. You can make the pants without a drawstring or with a drawstring. The pants will be easier and faster to make if you decide to leave out the drawstring. For both versions, there will be a wide elastic in the waist to keep the pants in place. Start off by cutting the size you want to make. Remember to cut notches where there are marks in the pattern, and draw the buttonhole marks if you're making the pants with a drawstring. Zigzag or overlock all edges of the two pattern pieces. If you're making the drawstring, start off by making the tie. Cut the fabric piece in the length for your size stated in the info document. Fold the piece in half lengthwise with the wrong side out and iron flat. Sew along the edge of the long side with 1 cm or 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Cut down the seam allowance close to the seam. Use a safety pin to turn the tie inside out. Iron the tie flat. If you're making a drawstring, then now is the time to make the buttonholes where the tie will come out. Start by ironing fusible interfacing onto the wrong side of the fabric where the buttonholes will be placed. Use your sewing machine's buttonhole foot and follow your machine's instructions for the correct settings for it. Test it with different sizes of buttons on some test fabric before making them on your pants. Depending on your sewing machine's buttonhole function, you'll usually start by positioning the needle at the bottom of the buttonhole. The machine will then stitch backwards first and continue forward again to complete it. Place a pin in each end of the buttonholes inside the stitches. This is to avoid that you cut into the stitches when using your seam ripper to cut it open. Now back to the pants. You can follow along from here if you're making them without the drawstring as well. Place the two pattern pieces on top of each other, right sides together. Pin along the front crotch curve and the back crotch curve. Sew along the edge of these two with 1 cm or 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Iron the seam allowance open and flat. Now open the pants like this, so that the bottom of each crotch curve meet. Match the seams in the crotch and pin. Now pin each of the inner legs together by first matching the notches and ends. Distribute the fabric evenly between these and pin. Sew along the entire edge from the bottom of one leg across the crotch and all the way down to the bottom of the other leg. Iron the seam allowance open and flat. Now we're going to make the casing for the elastic waistband. Fold down the waist of the pants by 1/2 centimeter or 1/4 inch and iron flat. Fold again where the notch is and iron flat. Distribute the fabric evenly all around and pin. Sew all around as close as you can to the folded edge. Leave open a hole of approximately 8 centimeters or 3¼ inch. If you're making the pants for yourself, measure yourself where you want the pants to sit, holding the elastic band as tight as you would like it, but tight enough to keep the pants up. Add 2 centimeters or 3/4 inch. If you're making the pants for someone else, use the table in the info document to see the recommended length for the size you're making. Use a safety pin to insert the elastic band through the hole in the casing and lead the elastic all the way through the casing until you can get the other end of it out of the hole. Overlap the elastic band with 2 centimeters or 3/4 of an inch and sew it together. Close the hole with a seam where you left off the other seam for the casing. If you made the drawstring, then insert it using a safety pin through one of the buttonholes and lead it all the way through the casing until you can get it out of the other buttonhole. Tie a knot on each end of the tie. Now all we have left to sew is the hem. Fold the hem on each pant leg up at the notch. Iron flat. Sew 1/2 centimeter or 1/4 of an inch from the edge to keep the fold in place. And that's it. Now all you have to do is relax in your new PJ pants.